Greetings fans, hyperfans, and people just lost looking for videos of cats on YouTube. Thank you for waiting for this last video from me. Weirdwolf has got his head back. I would like to say thank you to TF Direct again, not just for getting me this figure out, but when there was a problem with it, just getting me the replacement parts super quickly. I have been so happy with their service. I'm probably going to do another video just on them getting this stuff to me so quickly. But today, let us talk about the main attraction here, which is, I keep saying Weirdwolf, it's not Weirdwolf, it's Wolfwire. Of all the peculiar name changes that they have given Transformers in the year, I really don't understand this one. But we will have a look at him nonetheless. Now, showing up on this camera, actually even more obviously than it is in person, is the fact that you have a lot of different yellows here. This chest is actually all painted yellow. To the eye, it seems okay, but my camera seems to really pull up on the fact that it is a different tone. Colours on this guy really are reminiscent of the end of the G1 era. This yellow, this blue combination, the little bits of grey, it's just very much 1987 all over again. The figure is very cool looking. His articulation is fantastic. He has toe articulation, a ball joint at the feet, less than 90 degree at the knee, ball joint at the hip, little bit of waist articulation, semi-obscured by huge amounts of back kibble. He has a ball joint in the arm, he has a cut above the elbow, he has a 90 degrees to minus 90 degree bend at the elbow, and actually absolutely nothing at the wrists. Not even for transformation, but that's a good thing, and we will get to that. The head is on a ball joint, but the way that the head sits in this neck, it's not really what you would say is sort of like a full range of movement. But still, it's forgivable. He comes with two accessories, which are this huge curved saber and a very large cannon, which can either plug into his shoulder, plug into his hand, or, because this is a Titan's Return thing, you can turn that upside down and he will have a gun sled thing. But we will get to that when we get to Titan Cam. For detailing, again, lots and lots of paint apps. All the way through, tiny tamper-graph Decepticon logos on the shoulders. The one on the chest is sort of dead center, very well done. It's actually got a silver outline, if I can just get that to gleam. There we go. And that looks pretty spectacular. Tiny amounts of silver just picking up detail. There is one element which I will get to in Wolf mode that seems to have a lot of people confused, but fingers crossed we can get to the bottom of that. So we will rip his head off and have a look at the Headmaster pilot, Monzo. So, starting with Monzo in head mode here, you can tell that there is a little bit of detail to the face, but it is so heavily obscured by that thick layer of red paint that it basically all just looks like a single panel. You kind of get that Transformers Prime Soundwave or G.I. Joe BAT robot blankness to it, and I have to say that's a little bit disappointing considering this is actually one of the better robots. Unfolding him, showing off the articulation, sitting position, legs go backwards and forwards, and the arms are on tiny little ball joints that offer tiny amount to the side, and just above 90 degrees up to the shoulder. The plastic seems, again, it seems like it's been dripped in really heavy blue paint. I don't know if this is just because this is a pre-production model or what, but yeah, it's a little bit peculiar. He has the easiest interaction with the vehicle, which is he just kind of, well, pops in there. Doesn't really seem to be any way to interact with the sword. There's nothing to clip on, there's nothing to clip into, so that's it. Very good for clipping onto the side of other vehicles. Nice, huge fusion cannon size gun, but there's not else a lot to him. I mean, Monzo himself is about 3/4 the size of a Lego figure. Half a head shorter than a Creo, and I don't think he'd be much more than a light snack for Masterpiece Ravage. Even completely tooled up and head on, this is not a particularly large figure. He stands about the same height as the Tomahawk Deluxe from a couple of years ago, and if I turn him sideways, he's probably got about the same mass to him. So again, Deluxes do seem to be getting smaller, but if you compare him to some of the Autobot guys, yeah, he just doesn't have the mass. So far, that makes Wolfwire a very mediocre figure. However, he does have a few saving graces. Let's get him into his alt mode. So, strip off the weapons. Detach Monzo for the moment. And let's start by flipping up this beast head. Now that doesn't actually use the Titan Master port to plug in, which I don't understand why, but it sits there quite nicely. The arms swivel round and there's absolutely no prizes for guessing that they're going to become the forelegs. But the nice thing is that there are very stiff covers here, which flick up, and the hands disappear into those completely, allowing you to pull these feet down and spin them round. So, front half wolf mode achieved. To give him a little bit more length, we just undo this top flap. Open up this front panel. Yeah. Which means he's actually the only headmaster that has a front opening panel. Pop this piece out, and then you just concertina out and push back down. Snap that shut, and you now have a far more elongated body, and that's just such an elegant little piece of transformation. The legs unpeg from these shin guards, which shift round to just give you a far more canine back leg. Wolf mode is of course completed by taking his sword and ramming it somewhere rather intimate. And you have a choice of where you want to put Monzo at this stage. he can, just like his G1 counterpart, sit very firmly in this almost coffin-like back section, or again mirroring the G1 element, you can take his gun, place it onto the back to give him a huge amount of firepower. And Lonzo actually fills that space quite nicely. Now, I'm not usually a fan of beast formers. They either try to be too organic or the proportions are just off. But Wolfwire here, he's such a lovely homage to his G1 self, and he has an almost zoid-like appearance. His articulation in animal mode is fantastic. There's spin on the tail, all the joints you would expect for something that would just be a wolf figure are there. You can get some incredibly fantastic poses out of him. The head turns at the neck, looks left and right to a limited amount, not really up and down. The mouth does open and he has this fantastic translucent red lining to the mouth. I think it's the same sort of soft plastic so that nobody's going to be jamming their little brother's fingers in there and trying to hurt them. I'd be really interested to see what the light piping on that is. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I mean, the light piping's not actually showing up that well on camera, but it's actually going through the entire head, and there's almost an energon-y honeycomb texture to it, so that's really quite cool. The animal mode on this guy actually works so much better than Skull Cruncher or Mind Wipe. I guess it's a little bit because they've just gone with robotic animal all the way through rather than going for that weird semi-organic mix. The one thing that a lot of people have been griping about is how bad the silver paint work on the claws have been. But that's, I think, supposed to be intentional. It's kind of dry brushed on very thinly over the blue, and it looks very sort of scratched, a little bit dirty, as though he has actually sort of been digging with those and kind of scratched his blue paint off and revealed the metal underneath. It's a very, very bright chrome paint. I kind of wish they'd used that on some of the other details. The stuff on the back almost looks like it's a slightly duller colour. It may just be because it's not over such a dark base. I was a little bit worried when Wave 2 delivered into my lap Mind Wipe and Wolfwire. I am a completist, and I thought I was going to fall in love with both of these to such an extent that I'd want to go and get Skull Cruncher as well. But quite honestly, Mind Wipe has been such a letdown for me, and whilst Wolfwire is probably the highlight of the deluxe class Decepticons, I don't think I like him quite enough to go and pick up another £15 figure just to serve as an accessory. So, rounding out Season 2, I would definitely pick up Wolfwire, I would definitely pick up Chrome Dome, I'm touch and go on Highbrow, and I'd probably wait for Mind Wipe to turn up in the bargain bin. Thank you to TF Direct for getting me these figures out so quickly, and especially considering they had to send out one teeny tiny robot at, again, such a super quick pace. I'm just blown away by the support that they've been giving me, and indeed you guys. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. And until next time, if you're keeping the mint in package, you're not a toy collector, you're a box collector.
Nice!